Good morning, students. It's me, Miss Sania, your Pakistan Studies teacher, and today we are taking a start with another lesson. As you all know, that we have completed Indian National Congress in the previous lecture, so today we are taking a start with All Indian Muslim League. I am zooming the screen so that you can see very clearly that what exactly the content is written. All right, so let's move forward. But yes, before moving forward, I want to highlight you one more thing, and that is hurry up, grab your notebook along with pencil or pen and start noting the important pointers. And yes, about guidelines, I won't repeat the further guidelines because you're already familiar with that how you have to submit your work according to the instructions which I have provided you before. So let's move forward. All Indian Muslim League 1906 falls under the heading of historical background, and there are multiple things which we have already discussed in historical background. SLO number 2.1.3 says that describe the aims and objectives of All Indian Muslim League in 1906. We have to tell about the objectives which were explained in 1906. All right, so we will talk about four things in this SLO. First thing, establishment, that how was it established, the names and objectives of All Muslim League, then reaction of Hindus, and then the importance of All Indian Muslim League. Now you have to remember one more thing, and that is this SLO is pretty much important for your paper because there were multiple questions and MCQs which were included in the past papers. All right. All Indian Muslim League establishment. The Muslim leader met in Dhaka on the occasion of Mohammedan Educational Conference. Mohammedan Educational Conference. On that occasion, the Muslim leader met in Dhaka with the person through which he have to discuss the objectives about what should be done further. They announced the setting up a political organization. How they are setting up a political organization with the name of All Indian Muslim League. Remember one thing, whenever you are taking a start with something new, then definitely you have to engage other people and you have to tell other people that what exactly you're up to. It was the first Muslim political party of India, as I've mentioned before about it in Shimla deputation, and into other aspects which we have discussed in historical background. I have already explained you in detail about that. In fact, in partition of India as well, since we were not having a political party from the part of Muslims, we were only having an Indian party with the name of Indian National Congress. Due to this thing, we needed our political party to give us the freedom of right and speech. So finally, in 1906, our party was formed. It was founded on 30th December 1906 in Dhaka, East Bengal. This party was founded in 1906 and finally it was established over there. All right. Now, the basic aim of All Indian Muslim League was Hindus had gained the control on Congress. Congress worked on the interest of the Muslims. Um, Muslim face outrage from Congress on the partition of Bengal. I have already discussed this thing in detail that when we were living in the subcontinent, so definitely we were facing problems. We were not getting our rights. This is the main reason that we needed another party to speak about our rights and to speak about freedom. So this is the main reason that we have founded All Indian Muslim League, and it was established to speak about the rights of Muslims because Congress were working for Indians and Congress was much more emphasized on the political, as being a political party. It was much more concerned about Hindus as compared to Muslims. Now, when I talk about objectives, see, aim is something that what exactly the difference between aim and objective is. Aim is the idea on which you're about to execute, and objective is how you have to finally take your idea or how further you can upgrade your idea. That is known as objectives. They both are different, they both are not same. All right. Now, the first objective of All Indian Muslim League was to protect and advance the political rights and interests of the Muslims in India. Obviously, we wanted to safeguard the rights of Muslims who were living in the subcontinent. Point number two, to present Muslim needs and aspiration to government of India. Obviously, we were talking about rights, we were talking about freedom, we were talking about the needs of Muslims of the subcontinent. Point number three, to promote feeling of loyalty to British government. This point plays a very important role in the formation of All Indian Muslim League, because of obviously, if you're not satisfying the British government, then how can you expect from the British government that they will give you an opportunity or they will give you permission to establish your own political party? Because at that time, Britishers were ruling the subcontinent. Point, the last point is to cooperate with the other nations of India. Obviously, you have to, not only you have to cooperate with the nations, but yes, you have to cooperate with minorities as well, and with other religious backgrounds as well. Now, when I talk about the reaction of British government, the thing which is written over here is the league was encouraged by the British because the league led by the landowners who were moderate in views. I've already mentioned you before about it that Britishers were gaining those lands, or Britishers were ruling onto those lands. The tenants were Hindus, okay, and sorry, the landowners were Hindus. Britishers were owning on you can say that Britishers were leading that thing, the landlords were Hindus, and the tenants were Muslims. So obviously they were facing difficulty because Muslims have to pay the taxations as well, and Muslims, whatever agricultural products they're growing over there, they have to share that margin with Hindus and the Britishers if they are not capable to pay the taxations. Alright. British viewed that League could help to counter the Hindu protest in Bengal. So obviously the protest can counter, how the protest can counter, they favored Muslims and they started supporting Muslims into that objective, because Hindus were not in favor of partition of Bengal, which I've already discussed in the previous slide. I have even discussed about the reasons that why they were not in favor. So this is the main reason that they accepted the demands of Muslims, and Muslims started supporting Britishers into their objective. Now, when I talk about the reaction of Congress leaders, Congress was led by the Indian government because Indian National Congress was the political party of Hindus. Hindus claimed that the British were behind the establishment of Muslim League to act as a counter to Congress. Now, this was exactly the reaction given by the Congress leaders. They said that since Britishers were supporting Muslims in the formation of All Indian Muslim League, it seems like that they are not in favor of Indian National Congress, they're in favor of Muslims, so we cannot trust Britishers anymore. Alright. So the why Indian National Congress, or why the establishment of Indian National Congress plays an important role. See, you can see it over here. It strong advocated for the establishment of a separate Muslim majority state, Pakistan. Obviously, it plays an important importance because the reason is that when Indian National Congress, when All Indian Muslim League, the political party of Muslims, was formed, then they were able to put the decision about that they needed a separate state to practice the norms, traditions, and customs. All right. It united the Muslims of India on one platform. Obviously, the Muslims of India were united, and then finally they declared independence, and then they came to Pakistan. So this is the assignment for today. There are three questions which you have to attempt. Question number one says that describe the aims and objectives of All Indian Muslim League in 1906. This question is also important for your papers because this whole presentation includes multiple questions that include multiple MCQs which can come into your paper. All right. Question number two. Do you think that the formation of All Indian Muslim League plays an important role in the development of Pakistan? You have to justify your answer. If you're saying yes, then also you have to justify. And if you're saying no, then definitely you have to give a reasoning as well. Alright. Question number three. What was the outcome of the formation of All Indian Muslim League? So you have to write down this outcome as well. So thank you so much, everyone. I hope that you really liked this presentation, and I hope that all of those pointers are pretty much clearer to all of you. If you're having any sort of questions, then definitely you can ask me on KP on the instructions which I've posted over there. You can ask me below, or else whatever questions which I've given you today, you have to do all those questions into your copy and then send it to me. and then you have to submit under my instructions on KP. Inshallah, we return back with another presentation for all of you. Till then, take care. Barakallah. Allah Hafiz.